Chapter 7, Part 4, Beyond Rituals into Realization, Scenes 726 to 730. Introduction, Seeing with Eyes of Awareness.
Scene. The battlefield has reached a charged silence. Krishna has already revealed himself as the thread binding all creation, the life force behind all beings, the source of both desire and discipline, and the refuge from illusion. He has described the many ways people approach him, some in distress, some for wealth, some with curiosity, and a rare few with wisdom. Now he raises the vision further. The path is not about rituals or partial glimpses, but about realization. To live with awareness of him is to live consciously, and to die with awareness of him is to be free forever.
Then, in the ancient world, rituals dominated religious practice. Sacrifices, chants, and ceremonies filled the Vedic landscape. They were powerful, but they also risked becoming mechanical acts done for temporary results without inner transformation. Krishna honors ritual as a step but points to something higher: realization of the eternal self and the eternal Lord. Awareness, not repetition, is the key. The great sages did not merely perform rites, they saw God everywhere, in every breath, every moment. Krishna tells Arjuna that the true devotee knows him in life and remembers him in death, thus escaping the cycle of birth and death. For Arjuna, this is both practical and cosmic. The war will demand lives, including possibly his own. The question of death is not abstract, it is imminent. Krishna's words now give him a vision of what it means to face death consciously, anchored in the eternal. The battlefield becomes a place of liberation, not just destruction.
Now, this teaching lands powerfully for us too. We often live mechanically, repeating routines, even spiritual practices without awareness. We may say prayers without presence, perform rituals without heart, or go through daily life without consciousness. Krishna calls us higher. Live with awareness of him. Ritual is not condemned, but it must be filled with realization. The real offering is attention, devotion, and remembrance of the divine.
And what about death? In a culture that avoids speaking of it, Krishna brings it to the center. He says that those who live with awareness and remember him at death attain liberation. This transforms how we live now. To prepare for death is not morbid, it is to live every day with clarity, love, and devotion. If you train the mind to remember him daily, it will naturally remember him at the final moment. Focus. The essence of this section is simple but profound. True devotion is awareness, not blind ritual. Live consciously, remember Krishna in life, and you will remember him at death. That remembrance is the gateway to freedom. Scene 726, Knower of past, present, and future.
Scene. Krishna declares, I know all beings, O Arjuna, the past, the present, and the future. But no one truly knows me.
Then, Krishna now reveals his omniscience. He knows the entire arc of existence, what has been, what is, and what will be. Every birth, every death, every choice, every destiny lies open before him. Yet he adds a striking contrast. While he knows all, beings do not truly know him. Even when people worship or study, they often grasp fragments, but not his fullness. For Arjuna, this is humbling. His friend, standing as charioteer, sees all of time as a single tapestry, yet remains veiled from most. This insight urges Arjuna to trust Krishna fully, for no other guide holds such vision.
Now, this truth is equally sobering for us. We often act as if we control life, but our knowledge is narrow. We remember fragments of the past, experience only slices of the present, and guess about the future. Krishna knows all three in fullness, yet humanity struggles to know him. We chase facts, predictions, and analyses, but forget the source. This should not discourage us, but inspire humility and devotion. Instead of clinging to our limited control, we can rest in trust of the one who sees the whole. This also teaches us to release arrogance. Wisdom begins not in knowing everything, but in knowing the one who does.
Focus. Krishna knows all time, past, present, and future, yet remains hidden from most. Wisdom is trusting his vision and seeking to know him beyond fragments. Scene 727, Deluded by dualities.
Scene. Krishna explains, by the delusion of dualities arising from desire and aversion, O Arjuna, all beings are born into delusion.
Then, Krishna points to the root of ignorance, dualities, attraction and aversion, love and hate, pleasure and pain, success and failure. These pairs dominate human life. Because of them, beings are born into delusion, chasing what they like and running from what they dislike. For Arjuna, this explains the battlefield clearly. Warriors fight out of desire for victory or aversion to defeat, attachment to family or hatred for rivals. These dualities trap them in cycles of birth and death, keeping them from perceiving Krishna's eternal presence.
Now, this truth cuts deep into our daily lives. Modern society thrives on dualities. Advertisements pull us with attraction, fears push us with aversion. Our choices are often not free, but reactions to these pulls. We chase comfort, status, and pleasure, and avoid discomfort, loss, and failure. In doing so, we live mechanically, driven by impulse rather than awareness. Krishna's words name the disease. Delusion is not just ignorance, it is being trapped in a constant push-pull of desires and fears. Recognizing this is the first step to freedom.
Focus. See through dualities. Desire and aversion are traps that cloud truth. Awareness of Krishna breaks the cycle of attraction and repulsion, opening the path to freedom. Scene 728. The blessed who turn toward God.
Scene. Krishna continues, "But those whose sins are destroyed, whose actions are righteous, and who are freed from the delusion of dualities, such persons, firm in vows, worship me with determination."
Then, having described the delusion, Krishna now describes the way out. Those purified of sins, who act righteously and who overcome dualities, become steady seekers of the divine. They do not chase pleasure or flee pain, they stand firm with vows and devotion, worshipping Krishna with unwavering determination. For Arjuna, this is inspiring. It means the battlefield itself can be transformed into righteousness. By acting in Dharma, purifying intent, and remembering Krishna, he too can rise above dualities and worship in the midst of action.
Now, this vision empowers us. We too are caught in desires and aversions, but Krishna offers a path of purification. When we choose righteous action, acts of integrity, service, and compassion, our hearts slowly cleanse. When we resist the constant tug of dualities, we begin to live with steadiness. Such purification is not about being perfect, but about orienting life toward the divine. A student studying with integrity, a worker serving honestly, a parent nurturing with love, all are acts of righteousness that cleanse delusion and deepen devotion.
Focus, purity, and righteousness free us from dualities. When the heart is steady, devotion becomes natural. Worship then is not ritual, but determined awareness of Krishna in all actions. Scene 729, turning to Krishna at the end.
Scene. Krishna explains, "Those who strive for freedom from old age and death, taking refuge in me, know Brahman, the self, and action in its entirety."
Then Krishna speaks of seekers who long for liberation. They are not content with temporary gains or rituals promising heaven. They seek freedom from old age, death, and rebirth. By taking refuge in him, they gain knowledge of Brahman, the ultimate reality, the eternal self and karma in its full scope. For Arjuna, this is profound. The battlefield makes death unavoidable, but Krishna transforms it into a doorway. To take refuge in him is to move beyond death into eternal knowledge and freedom.
Now, this message resonates today in our fear-driven culture. Many avoid thinking about death, chasing youth, or denying aging. Krishna invites us to face it directly, but with hope. The quest is not to escape mortality artificially, but to find freedom in awareness of the eternal. Those who anchor their lives in the divine do not panic before death, they recognize it as a transition, not an end. Modern spirituality often avoids death, but Krishna makes it central. Liberation means freedom from the fear of time itself.
Focus. Refuge in Krishna transforms death from terror into doorway. To know him is to know Brahman, the self, and karma in fullness. Scene 730, knowing him at the final hour.
Scene. Krishna concludes, "Those who know me as the Supreme Lord, the ruler of the worlds, and the friend of all beings, even at the time of death, they too know me truly."
Then, Krishna reveals the ultimate secret. The highest knowledge is not abstract philosophy, but relationship, seeing him as Supreme Lord, ruler of all, and friend of every being. Even in the final hour of life, those who remember him in this way attain true knowledge and freedom. For Arjuna, this is deeply reassuring. Facing battle with death a real possibility, he now understands. Remembering Krishna in devotion, even in the last breath, is liberation.
Now, this truth brings comfort and challenge for us. Death may come suddenly, but if we live with remembrance daily, we will carry it into the final hour. The key is not waiting until the end, but living each moment in relationship with the divine as Lord, to be revered, and as friend, to be loved. This turns spirituality into companionship. Krishna is not only the cosmic ruler, but also the intimate friend. Remembering him as both gives strength for life and peace in death.
Focus. True knowledge is to know Krishna as Lord and friend. Live in remembrance now, and even at the final moment you cross into freedom. Closing summary: beyond rituals into realization.
Scene. As Chapter 7 closes, the battlefield of Kurukshetra transforms into a cosmic classroom. Krishna lifts Arjuna beyond rituals, beyond fragmented devotion, into the heart of realization. Worship is not mere repetition. True devotion is awareness of Krishna as eternal, omniscient, and liberating presence.
Then Krishna begins by declaring his omniscience, scene 726. He knows the past, present, and future, yet beings fail to know him because they are clouded by Maya. The root of this blindness is duality, scene 727, the push and pull of desire and aversion. Trapped in these forces, humans chase temporary goals and miss the eternal. But Krishna shows the way out. Those purified by righteousness, who overcome dualities, turn to him with steady devotion, scene 728. He then speaks of the highest seekers, scene 729. Those who strive not for heaven or worldly success, but for freedom from old age and death. Such souls, taking refuge in him, know Brahman, the eternal self, and the true nature of karma. Finally, he crowns the teaching, scene 730. Those who know him as Supreme Lord and friend of all beings, even at the hour of death, truly know him. For Arjuna, this redefines the battlefield. Death is no longer only loss, it can be liberation when faced with remembrance of Krishna.
Now, this section shines with urgency for our lives. Many of us live mechanically performing duties, rituals, or routines without awareness. Krishna calls us to live consciously, to see him in every moment. Ritual is not rejected but fulfilled when filled with realization. Without awareness, even worship can become mechanical. With awareness, even daily acts become sacred.
Krishna also reshapes how we face mortality. Our culture avoids death, yet Krishna makes it central. Freedom is not in denying aging or clinging to life, but in anchoring the soul in the eternal. Those who live with awareness of him will remember him at the end, and that remembrance is liberation. This is not escapism but empowerment. Death is transformed from enemy to doorway, from terror to transition.
And most beautifully, Krishna offers relationship. He is Supreme Lord, ruler of all worlds, but also friend of every being. This dual vision makes devotion both reverent and intimate. The yogi bows before the Lord, yet walks with the friend. This balance makes life whole.
Focus, the essence of Chapter 7. Part 4 is this: true devotion is awareness, not blind ritual. Break free from dualities, live righteously, and remember Krishna as Lord and friend. In life, this brings clarity. In death, it brings freedom. Awareness is the real sacrifice, and remembrance is the real liberation.